So I said to Cass, I'm like, hey, you want to join us on this segment? And she's like, well, I got to leave the studio and I got to go pump, right? And then she's thought about it for a second. And she's like, well, actually, I've done it in the studio before. None of you got, and me, and you haven't noticed before. And I'm like, you have? I have. Have you?
Not a clue.
And he's right next to you.
Yeah, not at all.
Kristen, have you?
It's so faint. It is like so faint.
Davi?
Yeah.
You have?
Well, I didn't notice right away. She showed up at the live podcast we did, and I had, the sanitary safe room for her back there to pump, and then she was just sitting there talking to me, and I was like, your rack looks amazing. and then I realized you're wearing these little suction cup doohickeys, and it's doing all of it.
But, Mo is literally 2 feet away from her. Kristen, 3 feet. He's moving a little bit further
4
now.
feet now.
It ain't going to squirt you.
I don't know what's going on.
And I'm directly across, so you would think I'd be able to see something like that. Had no idea.
No, I am pumping right now. I have a hands-free one.
Oh, wow.
You're punching it.
Wow.
Yep. It's called a Willow, and I bought one, and it's a game changer. But see, now you see that listener who called in who wasn't allowed to breastfeed at work, how ridiculous it is. I'm hands-free. I'm doing my job. I'm talking to all of you. It's not a thing.
Everybody's staring at your boobs.
I know.
They look real big and droopy.
For those of you guys that are out of Atlanta and out of Georgia, we are trying to get a law passed in Georgia right now because the way the law is written is that not all industries give women the right to pump at work. Some do, some don't. Like if you're a teacher like we had, she wasn't allowed to, but if you have a female janitor in the same building, she's allowed to. So we're trying to get that law passed in Georgia. So that's what Cassie's referring to.
Right. So I'm pumping right now because it does mess with your milk supply. But, the thing is you can't always pump and you can't always bring a bottle with you. And the beautiful thing about if you choose to breastfeed is that you bring it with you. You're a roving food truck for babies. And I was out the other day with my kid. I had some college friends in town, and it was the first time meeting her. And we were out a lot longer than I had expected. So I hadn't prepared a bottle. I'm also trying to stockpile for something else. And it got late. She started crying. So I was like, well, I'm going to feed her. And, I thought about it. I've in the past, when this has happened, I've gone to my car. I sit in the back seat next to the car seat, jammed in there because the windows are kind of tinted. I've hidden under shawls and capes and whatever, and it gets hot and you can't hide the baby's face because then they can't see you. Think about you trying to eat in the dark. I've tried to cover up in so many different ways, and it's actually not illegal in any state to just go ahead and drop the cover and breastfeed. It's completely legal, but people don't do it. Some people feel uncomfortable in public, and then other people just like to shame moms and say, put your boob away, even though it's literally like a cafeteria.
I know you got some La Leche people that are listening right now going, you shouldn't have to hide anywhere, anytime. Take that, do it wherever you need to.
And I 100% agree with that, especially being a breastfeeding mom. It is so incredibly difficult. And then to find a place, I'm not going to go in the bathroom. It's disgusting. I actually checked out the bathroom at this place we were at. It smelled like somebody had done something else in there, and I'm not going to do that. And so we were at this beautiful little tea shop with me and my friends, and I turned a chair around to face the wall just to, give some modesty because one of my friends' husbands was there as well, and I didn't know how he might feel. And I started breastfeeding. And then, of course, in walks the barista at the tea shop because I'm right next to the storage closet. And Chad, my husband's like, Cassie, and the barista hesitates. And I'm like, I don't care. You're not going to see anything. Everything is covered up.
Maybe she needed cream.
It was a he. Yeah.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Can I get a little half and half?
Extra foam.
Latte. And, and at that point, my friends were like, why are you facing the wall for us? And I was like, in my head, I wanted to be respectful. I don't know how you, my friend, she's super liberal, so I should have known she wouldn't care. She's like, oh, my husband sees it all. But I'm like, I don't know how he would react. I didn't know how you would feel about it. I didn't know how my husband would feel about me whipping one out in front of another dude in public. I don't know how all these people in this tea shop would feel. And it was in that moment when I decided, I don't care. I'm breastfeeding in public. This is just what's going to happen. I have a kid who needs to eat. I'm not going to call 911 to go ahead and get her some formula or a boob. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's the most natural thing in the world. I used to hate hearing breastfeeding moms say that. I don't know why. When I was younger, it's the most natural. Yeah, of course it is. But it really is. She's got to eat. Girls got to eat. So I'm going to feed her. Mm-hmm. And it was just there was so much shame that I had been carrying around and guilt over hiding parts of my body that were doing what they were literally supposed to do. And I had all these all the comments of other people weighing on me. Like, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be side-eyed. What are they thinking? Do they think I'm a bad mom because I didn't bring a bottle with me? They don't know why I couldn't bring a bottle. Like, and at that moment, yeah, it was so freeing just to sit there and whip it out in the middle of a tea shop and just like drink my little chai latte and talk with my friends while my kid was feeding. And it was not even like the same way all of you have just forgotten that I'm pumping. It was the same kind of thing. Like it's just happening.
I
and
didn't
you don't
forget.
even.
I want to knock on it real bad, but I'm not.
Did you feel like anybody was kind of giving you a side eye, or they were wondering, or were you so discreet about it nobody in the place even knew?
I wasn't discreet. Like, there's no really way to be discreet, especially like I've got a big pair of food trays on my chest. Like,
She is blessed.
I don't know if it's blessed right now. But I think I was more shocked. But we were also in a very liberal part of town. So I think people were crunchier there and expected it. But it was more like, oh, okay. And then just keep on going.
I always find I think it's beautiful, like to see women breastfeed, and all my girlfriends have breastfed in front of me, and I just think, again, it is so natural, and to be able to provide for another human in that fashion, I think it's incredible. I think it's a miracle, and I think it's beautiful that you could do that.
Yeah, it was great to not feel shame over my body.
Yeah.
And so I say, if you see someone breastfeeding in public, just don't stare at them if it makes you uncomfortable. But no, it's just a kid eating lunch.
Give them a high five as you walk by.
No, her hands are full.
Way to go.
Do you know how much my wrist hurts from having to hold that sucker up?
A little pat on the head.
Don't touch it at all.
Or just a little point, a little...
Finger guns. That's the old Joe Biden.
Tell Bert made you do it.
The Bert Show.